Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, married a 6-year-old. Millions are preaching the sanctity of child marriages and of pedophilia as a result. Please check the web to realize that it is not in any case an exaggeration. Muhammad, Prophet of the Islamic religion, married his fourth wife, quote unquote. He was over 50 years old when the marriage took place. The spouse, quote unquote, was a little girl called Aisha. She was 6 years old. I am sorry, there is unfortunately no other word around to qualify that daily officialized horrific shame and guilt of our societies. This is about marriage, because this shouldn't be used when it comes to forced marriage and marriage of a child with adults and older adults. There is no word to qualify this horrific act, these atrocities that is going on and on and on today in our societies. There is some debate within Islam about our age, but the overwhelming consensus is 6. Below are the hadith, records of the action of Muhammad that are very much a part of Islam, the hadith. In support of this, Khadija died 3 years before the Prophet departed to Medina, Khadija being the first wife. He stayed there for 2 years and so on, and then he married Aisha when she was a girl of 6 years age, and he consumed, so there's the act of marriage, and he consumed that marriage when she was 9 years old. So this is from the Hadith, which is a very official text in Islam. So I'm quoting from the Hadith, from one of the translations, but very, very much the most widespread in the world of Islam. Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported, Allah's apostle, may peace be upon him, married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house when I was 9 years old. From the hadith of the Sunan of Abu Dawud, Isha said, the apostle of Allah married me and I was 7 years old, and I had intercourse with him when I was 9 years old. These texts are directly translation of the hadith. As the hadith have a record of the traditions of saying of the Prophet Muhammad, revered and received as a major source of religious law, and moral guidance, second only to the authority of the Quran, the Holy Book of Islam, second only to the Quran. So of course there's Muslim would say that anyhow the only book they have to follow is the Quran. But this again is not the majority, and certainly not when we talk about Sharia law that is spreading around the world, and that doesn't to be spread about because the Sharia law version of Islamic countries. So by the Britannica Encyclopedia, hadith has become a synonym for the term sunnah. However, the plight is not more about what the scriptures say, but about the thousands of documents produced by Muslim preachers, believers or followers, entirely condoning, honoring, and recommending this marriage of an old man with a young child. So what I mean here is that I am not here to discuss what has been written or what has happened in the hadith, in the books, Islamic books, and so forth. This is not the subject. The subject is that there is thousands and thousands online. You can see that it is not a secret for no one that knows what is happening. You can check on the internet. There's thousands of documents produced by Muslim preachers, believers, or followers entirely condemning, honoring, and recommending this marriage of an old man with a young child. C'est-à-dire pedophilic marriage, yes? But allow pedophile to marry young underage people. This information is accurate. Please be aware that these teachings, legitimized as fundamental to the Islamic religion, can be found by thousands on the internet via very simple word search. Preaching that the marriage of Muhammad to a little girl is appropriate or can be taken as or the model as grave and beyond horrid and vile consequences, from child marriage in countries like Saudi Arabia to the many stories of imams being caught on camera in Britain agreeing to marry children and presenting it as a suitable practice under Islam. The campaign petition have two purposes. One, to ensure that people know what happens. The marriages in quote-unquote in themselves, but also the fact that marriages of children with adults are in fact professed via the teaching of Islam. Two, it would then ask the government to sanction direct or indirect incentives and incitation to pedophilia and child marriage that should be in fact called pedophile marriage. Practically, it means that Islamic teachers should be condemning child marriage systematically and be severely sanctioned when advocating it. To praise Muhammad's life without expressly condemning child marriage is in fact support to pedophilia. The Prophet Muhammad is highly praised and constantly cited as being the Prophet and only Prophet of Islam. His name is introduction to almost any communication and verbal or written exchanges in culture Islam. No one needs to enter madrasas, Islamic school. Madrasas are Islamic schools, to figure out that Muhammad's life is given as example and model. So the petition is Stop Child Marriage and Child Marriage Preaching. These acts or arrangements have traditionally been called child marriage. Still calling them child marriage hopefully would remind us who needs to be by any means protected. To condemn pedophilic marriage could focus on the criminalization of pedophile and pedophilic culture permitting and encouraging it. To call it child marriage, stop naming what once we know make us all complicit of, since not stopping it. P.S. Please note that two previous petitions has been refused or removed without any warnings or adequate justification. Also on main petition specialized sites, petitions have limited time to get signed. The petition I attempted the UK government website didn't match the criteria and be catalogued under unpetitionable cultural matter. That is to say, try to petition the UK government on that. No, sorry, it's cultural matter, you cannot. This idol, for which no discussion asserting the grandeur of Islam and its master is tolerated, and is in fact quite famously now sanctioned by death penalty. It is not called terrorism. The rules here, Sharia and other Islamic laws that are perpetrated by the power and one of the powers in a given country. Question: can Muslims be executed for converting? Apostasy or leaving the faith is a very controversial issue in the Muslim world. This is by the BBC. And experts say the majority of scholars believe it is punishable by death. So you want to stop being a Muslim, you want to convert, or to stop to not recognize yourself as being a Muslim, it is punishable by death. This is a BBC link. Apostasy or leaving the faith is a very controversial issue in the Muslim world, and experts say the majority of scholars believe it is punishable by death. So you convert or you stop being a Muslim, you can be condemned to death. The Quran itself declares there is no compulsion in religion, but Quran is different from the Sharia law and from what the Hadith will recommend. Hadith being what the life of the Islamic prophet, which is to say Muhammad, his life and its recommendation. Another concept is al-taqiyya, which is dissimulation. There are several forms of lying to non-believers that are permitted under certain circumstances, the best known being taqiyya, for the Shia in particular. These circumstances are typically taqiyya is particularly linked with the Shia sect. These circumstances are typically those that advances the cause of Islam, in some cases by gaining the trust of non-believers in order to draw out their vulnerability and defeat them. So it is morally permissible to lie to non-believers as one of the religious principles. Of course, this is not. I am not trying to paint what every Muslim believes. One, because Muslim doesn't mean a thing when you can't convert or stop being a Muslim officially if you are this by birth. Two, because there is Muslim like in every walk of life that will hold their beliefs and hopes than the majority of the group they belong to. Yes, it is not that I want to address, but this is a reality for millions and millions of people. And if it's not a reality, it is the reality of the preaching. And if it's not a reality of the preaching, it's anyhow what they would have to fight every day, because the core of text are those and not others. We know that Muhammad as a man had resorted to slavery, to sex slavery, to rape, to war, to killings, and so forth. This is, I think, is beyond any debates. Of course, there will be always people who will think that their books are really holy and will say, no, this never happened. It's an aberration. This maybe have been written to dishonor our prophet and so forth. You can say anything. You can say, for example, that I've heard that in fact they were married just in order to protect the women he married. She was not consume marriage at all. It was just to give her legal protection. But these are absolutely very, very, very marginal. It's a very, very minority who would give explanation like this. The official and widespread and if you respect what is written, is not that. Is idolizing and giving adoration to someone who enslaved people, who murdered them, and who raped them. Yeah, himself and his army.